You know I love you down, but I can't miss you if you're always around. Yeah. You know I love you down, but I can't miss you if you're always around. I'm feeling a little boxed in. May I get a minute to reassess my space? I'm getting a little claustrophobic, and there's nothing like a moment to get back to your quiet place. You know I love you, Dan.
Hello. Thank you for stopping by my channel, Naturally Key. Welcome. If you like what we discussed today, like, comment, share, and please subscribe. I'm gonna jump right into this content. So today we are talking about my absolute favorite show, which is Grey's Anatomy. Latest episode, which was I think season 15, episode 14. And if I keep looking down, it's because I took notes so I can remember everything that I wanted to discuss from tonight's episode. My first topic will be Teddy. First of all, I'm a fan of Teddy. I love Teddy. I've always loved Teddy's character. Tonight was it just expanded on who Teddy is. Teddy is always putting other people ahead of herself. One reason why I love her, she has such a big heart. She rarely considers what she needs. Also, why I like her with Karasik, I think that's how you Karasi, however you say his name. Most people think that he's a jerk. I think he has jerkish moments, but when he's with her, he's very different. You could tell there's a sensitive side of him. I like him for her because he seems to care, and she deserves that. Like, she doesn't deserve Owen or what Owen does. FYI, I'm not a fan of Owen. I've never liked Owen. I didn't like Owen when he was with Christina. I don't really like Owen when he's with Amelia. I'm not Amelia's biggest fan. Like, Amelia sometimes gets on my nerves, so it's fine if they decide to be together. I don't really care because I don't really like either one of them. I like Amelia more than I like Owen, but I really do not like Owen. I like him as a doctor. I don't like him as a person. But back to Teddy. I like how she considered how if something happened to Betty / Brittany, if something happened to her, she knew that it would break Amelia. So when she told Maggie, let me do the surgery, because if she doesn't make it, she needs someone to be mad at, and then she needs somebody to take care of her. And because you're her sister, you need to be that person she can lean on. So let me do the surgery. I don't mind her being mad at me. So she just showed who Teddy really is. She's always considering other people. I love Teddy Altman. She's awesome. From the moment she came on the show, I really hate, this is backpedaling, but I really hate what happened to Henry, her husband, because they were really good for each other. Then I wanted to discuss Amelia. Again, I'm not Amelia's biggest fan, but I like Amelia sometimes. Sometimes she's just mad annoying. I'm not from New York, but I had to say this because I said mad annoying. But that's my new saying because I watch the Ellises. Shout out to DeVal and Kadeem. I watch the Ellises all the time, and because they're New Yorkers, they always say, this mad annoying. You mad annoying, bro. You mad annoying, yo. I love it. So I've been saying that, and I'm a Southern girl down here in Dallas, Texas. And I've been saying it, and so my brother been like, you think you from New York or something? No, I just love the Ellises. Back to the topic, my bad. Amelia, she bottles things up and tries to act like she's cold-hearted, and she's really not. She's really generous. She just has an annoying way to go about certain things. So, seeing her break down today, to me, I felt like everything that she's been ever holding in, she finally let it out. As far as like losing her fiance, losing her baby, losing her brother, Amelia's dealt with a lot of loss. Like, she really has. And even surviving having that massive tumor, something that should have killed her, she survived it. So her breaking down today, I felt like, although it was about the fact that she thought that she might lose Betty slash Brittany, because that's what I'm gonna call her, Betty slash Brittany. She thought that she might lose her, and it just felt like too much. Like, she was just at that point, like, oh my god, like, how much more can I really take? Like, that was a spillover, and I love that she showed that side of herself, because normally she just tries to be tough, and it is what it is, you know. But I love that she showed that side of herself. So that was a good point that they brought out. I literally put on the page, Owen gets on my nerves. And what I was referring to was the moment when he, like, left the house. I get it that he's sad about, you know, losing, what's the baby's name? Leo. Losing Leo. And I hate that for him, because I think he's a good dad. I think he has the potential to be a really good dad. But, again, I do not like Owen just because the way he goes about things. Like, he's such a, that didn't really explain it, but that's, when I think of Owen, that's what I think of. He's like a whiny baby. Like, he gets so mad over things instead of just like, I don't like the way that Owen deals with things. Let me put it like that. I don't like the way that he deals with things or people if he feels like they did something that he didn't like. Like, he stomps around like a huge dinosaur or something. Like, calm down, okay? Calm down. So the way that he handled that, like, he instantly, like, oh, they need me at the hospital, I gotta go. Like, tell the baby bye. Like, what if this was like your last time seeing him? You know what I'm saying? Just stop acting stupid. Just don't be Owen right now. Anyway, the mom who came to the hospital looking for a baby. When she first came in, honestly, I thought something was up. Like, I didn't buy it. I was like, first of all, kids are dropping like flies from overdoses, and you roll in here talking about you think your baby might be here, your 3-year-old might be here. What was you doing? Like, everything was like spiraling. I'm like, something is up with that lady. Like, something just didn't feel right with her story. So when the homeless guy was like, oh yeah, I just saw her, she was, you know, with them kids taking drugs and stuff, I felt so bad for the little boy. And I have to agree with Karev's take. What he told the dad, yes, get her help, put her in rehab, but your first priority is your kid. I don't know why sorry, I got distracted. Your first priority is your kid. Like, take care of your kid. Make sure he's okay. Like, this is a choice that this adult woman made for herself. So let this adult woman seek help for herself, and if you can help, that's great, but your first priority needs to be your son. And I think a lot of people probably felt like he was harsh on her when he was like dismissive, and he was like, I just want to see my son. No, that's a parent, okay? Because you put my baby in harm's way, in any kind of harm's way, that's a problem. I don't care who you are, whether you are his mother, his father. You put my child in harm's way to the point where something could have happened to my kid, then I'm not really concerned about you and what's going on with you right now. I want to get to my kid and make sure my kid is all right. So I agree with the way that the dad handled it. I agree with everything Karev said. We all know that Karev has been through a lot in his childhood and just in general, having a drunkie for a dad, and then having a mom who was sick all the time with a mental disorder, Karev raising himself and his siblings. So I think that Karev was absolutely right on that. And I also love that Joe. When I stare off like that, it was because I could not think of her name at the time. Sorry. But Joe, the way that Joe saw his reaction, and she didn't jump to, why you being a jerk? She just sat there and she thought about it, and she was like, that must have triggered something in him. So later she went to him and was like, did this happen to you? This and that. That's when you clicking with your partner. That's when you're in sync. And I loved it. I loved how Joe, because normally somebody else would have been like, you're a jerk, and then he would have had to explain it later. But he didn't have to do that. With Joe, it's like she picked up on that this triggered something in you, so let me take a moment to acknowledge what this triggered in you. And I think it also shows us Karev's growth. We all know Karev has grown from the Karev we met from the beginning. Okay, we all felt like Karev was just a jerk, and he was. He really was. But we now know the reason behind him being who he was, and we see his growth. I love it. I love it. I love Karev and Joe together. They are great. I'm a part of this Grey's Anatomy group on Facebook, and sometimes the discussion is, do we like Karev with Joe more than we like Karev with Izzy? Because Izzy changed him as well. His love for Izzy changed him initially. But Joe is better for him because Izzy she don't have a staying power. You know what I mean? Like, something goes wrong with Izzy and she runs like she did. So, and then she didn't even have enough to explain to him what she was going through when he was trying to be there for her. So Joe has had her moments where she tried to push him away. But all in all, him and Joe are perfect for each other. I love them together. What else? Jackson. When Jackson first came to the show, or to the hospital, let me put it like that. When he first came to the hospital and people started realizing who he actually was, they started saying how privileged he was, and he was a uppity schoolboy and all that. And I tried to be like, no, he's down to earth, whatever. Money doesn't make him, he's a sweetheart. But tonight's episode showed that he has a subtle way of being that spoiled brat everybody was talking about before. Because this whole camping trip and all this stuff, he was like, oh, we're going to go and we're going to be without this, and this. You have that on a regular basis? You know what I mean? Like, think about the fact that he just lost millions of dollars in that settlement that he just did. Millions. And he still has all these things. It's material things. Mind you, it's mostly because he's a doctor making buku money on top of the money he already inherited because he's an Avery. But I like the moment where they showed this humble homeless man who took time to help this little boy when he himself had nothing and he was injured. Like, he already had this stuff going on with his feet. He's homeless. He lives literally in the park with nowhere to go. And he took time to bring this little boy to the hospital in safety and make sure this little boy was okay. When he has nothing to go back to, has nothing to, and he wasn't a rude guy. He was a really sweet guy, and it was just a reality check for Avery. And so I like that they brought that up and put that in the show, because I think we all sometimes need a reality check that you can't take for granted what you have because somebody else doesn't have what you feel like is a little. I only have a little, I only have this, but somebody else doesn't have that. So I like that they brought that and put that in, and I also like that they showed his characteristics before telling us that this man was homeless. Because a lot of people feel like people are homeless by choice, or people are homeless because they're careless, or whatever the reason may be. You don't know why a person is homeless. So just put yourself in their shoes for a little bit, because a lot of us are just one paycheck away from being homeless. A lot of us are just one mishap away from being homeless. So you cannot take for granted what you have. I thank God all the time for where I am and how I am. So I like that they put that in there. I was so glad to see Bailey and Warren back in sync. Because they've been like off for a long time. The last episode we saw them making up. So this episode we got to see them back in sync. The Bailey and Warren that we love. I love them as a couple. I think that they're a great couple. And last but not least, Meredith. I like how they didn't put a lot of emphasis on Meredith, but she still shined, because in the backdrop of all this chaos that was going on in the hospital today, she was saving a life and breaking a hospital record at the same time. She back here being Superwoman while all this chaos is going on. And even Superwoman had to rest in the end. But I love how they had this subtle, showing of her. I also want to put in here that I do not like the concept of her with DeLuca. I don't like it. Just like I don't like Owen, I don't like DeLuca. I don't like DeLuca because DeLuca is a whiny baby, literally. Every time something does not go his way, he literally throws a tantrum. Literally throws a tantrum. I don't like the way he even approached Meredith about their relationship or being in a relationship or whatever. He was just so forceful. And I don't like DeLuca. I really wish she would have picked Link because I think Link is just better for her. It gave us that whole aspect of we go for the guy who's not good for us first. Like, we always choose the one who's not good for us. And I hate it. I hate it. He's like that cute guy that just compliments you, but when something gets serious, there's a problem. Because let's just think back for a moment when DeLuca was with Maggie, right? First of all, my first problem with DeLuca and Meredith being in a relationship together is the fact that this dude used to be in a relationship with your sister. That's always a line that you do not cross. Friend, sister, you don't date exes. Now, on TV, they be like, oh, I don't mind, go for it. But in real life, that's an unspoken rule that we all know. You do not date your friend, your sister's ex. I don't care how much time has gone by. I don't care if your sister don't like him, don't care about him, whatever. That's just the line hey, it is what it is. But when DeLuca was with Maggie, he pushed the issue of them dating and being open and not being secretive. Like, he kept pushing that. So she finally gave into it. And then he's the one who broke it off with her because he was too insecure to deal with the fact that he was dating somebody who was superior to him in their career. So, do we think that he's not going to do the same thing with Meredith? Meredith is a super doctor. Like, she wins awards, she breaks records. Meredith is Meredith. Like, how do we think that DeLuca is not going to do the same thing? Something major is going to come up at the hospital. She's going to have to deal with it and get all the props. And he's going to be in the background, and he can't deal with being in the background and being a little, whatever he is. I don't like DeLuca, and I don't like her with DeLuca. Did I already say that? I don't like her with DeLuca. Okay. And reasons that I like Link. Link. I didn't like Link at first either. I didn't think Meredith should be with either of them at first. But the more we get to see who Link really is, he's more than just a pretty face. He's, I just like him. He's so sweet. Like, look at tonight's episode, how he was there to console Amelia. Amelia could have been standing there by herself. He could have walked off, like, I don't know what you want me to do. But he took that time to even just stand there with her in that moment, make sure she was okay. I just like Link. And then Link with the kids. Y'all remember when he did the little party and they thought he was Thor? It was so cute. Link is just, I like Link. Even if Link doesn't end up with Meredith, I like Link. I think that they should just bring somebody totally different on the show to be with Meredith, if you're going to put her with somebody. Or let her roll solo dolo, because she's fine just by herself. But I don't like her with DeLuca. So can we change that up and put somebody else in that role? Okay, I think that is all for me tonight. If I did not discuss something that you wanted to discuss, if I didn't mention something, or if you wanted to add to something that I said, please leave it down in the comments and we can talk amongst each other in the comment sections. That is it for tonight. Please stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button so you can see when I upload new videos. Good night.
You know I love you down, but I can't miss you if you're always around.